you can, yeah, yeah.
Somebody like me, when you ask my name, I panic. So what am I leaving? Everybody was so magnetic. Before I knew it, we talked and I think about you a cocktail. You told me that you've been waiting for somebody like me.
Hello there everybody, and welcome to today's video. And today we're going to be taking a look at this. This is my version 9 or version 10, I'm not entirely sure which it is yet, PS2. And this is one of the later revision fat machines. This is one of those nice ones that come with the IR sensor, the quieter fan, which was quite a game changer back then, and supposedly DVD plus RW support, which was always a bit of a weird one. I'm assuming that meant that you could put your copied DVD videos in there, and it'd work for your home movies and nothing else. But yes, this machine is one I bought on eBay during lockdown back in sort of like 2021, I think it was. It was a lot of 3 machines. They're all in quite nice condition. 2 fat, 1 slim. I think one's a version 7, this one's a V9 V10, and the other one's a V12 slim. Came with controllers, cables, £35 delivered on eBay, so I didn't think it was too bad at the time, and I dropped on it. So this is the first machine out of the lot that I'm going to take a look at to fix, because there's a few things I want to do and film with this particular machine. As you can see, it's in really nice condition. Like, the surface and everything is nice and glossy and shiny. There's no massive scratches on it. It's in really nice nick. It's pretty beautiful, to be fair to it. So yeah, I'm really happy with the physical condition of it. Now, as I say, I'm not sure whether it's a V9 or a V10 as yet. It's an SCPH 50003 model. If it's got a GH023 board in it, it'll be a V9, and if it's got a GH026 motherboard in it, it'll be a V10. So which of the two it is, I'm not entirely sure. So yes, so they've all got issues, and this one is no different, and we're going to take a look and see what that issue is. It will become quite apparent quite quickly. So we do have the video capture running. I do have the video capture running right here, and what we'll do is we'll knock the machine on. Ouch, I'm sure you could hear that. That's absolutely horrendous. Yes, that is a bit of a problem. So when we start the machine up, you can hear that grinding, whirring noise. Is absolutely terrible. The machine's up, as you can see. We can see on the screen now we're at the browser system configuration, and everything there seems to be okay. The static dot in the middle there, just above top left of browser, indicates we have a flat CMOS battery. So let's take a look here. Yeah, you can see there, look, SCPH 50003 is the model number. And everything else, that's absolutely sound. So if we go into system configuration, the clock adjustment, as you can see, the time and date is absolutely incorrect. So the CMOS battery does indeed need a little bit of fettling, but we can sort that once everything else is working. So this one, I think, had a disk read error. I think somewhere I've got some shots of the original eBay listing, I think. So I'll have a dig through my various files and things and see if I can dig it out, because it'll be long gone, live view on the site, but we'll see. So if we eject, okay, so we can hear the tray. The tray's nice and quiet. The tray's fine. The tray doesn't have any issues whatsoever. So the mechanism for the tray is fine. The noise we hear when it starts up, and as we'll see in a minute when we put a disc in, gives us a bit of a clue. So the tray motor is fine. So the tray mechanism and everything else is working as it should do. The noise when it starts up is the machine trying to park the optical pickup. And when we put the disc in, as we'll see in a second, there we go. I thought it was going to make me out to be a liar there for a second. I thought it was going to behave itself impeccably. Ouch, but you can hear there, it's absolutely grinding away. Yeah, there you go. So it does play and it does start up. Now this machine was sold, if I remember rightly, as I say, I'll check the eBay listing if I can. It was sold as not reading discs or having disc read error, so I'm assuming it does have a bit of trouble reading discs every now and again, because I'm assuming that laser's not moving too well. Yeah, you can. Yeah, yeah. I'm going to take that out. I don't want to do any damage to it. So yeah, as you can see there, machine's hung up. Disc is out. Yeah, there you go. So yes, so it would appear, therefore, that we have an issue with the worm motor. So the noise you can hear, if you've got one that's doing similar, the best way to test which part of the mechanism is at fault is if the noise happens when it's moving the tray, it's the tray mechanism. Generally, if it is making a noise when it's trying to read the disc or when you first power it on, then it's generally an issue with the worm motor that's connected to the laser sled. Now, some people do get them confused because the noise happens when you try to eject the tray, because it has to park the optical head at the front of the drive in order to allow the tray mechanism to come over the top. So whilst it tries to move the optical pickup, it tends to bind up and make a racket. So some people do get them confused and start looking in places where the issue isn't and then wonder why they can't fix it. Now, whether I can fix this particular issue or I need to replace the part, we'll find out shortly. So let's get this thing stripped down and let's take a look and see if we can fix it. First thing to do then is to flip the console onto its front and check the rear warranty seal. It's still intact on this machine, so we'll need to remove it. I prefer to score them along the meeting edges, which means the stickers stay relatively intact, but makes it easy to open the console if it's ever needed in future. Next, we'll remove the expansion bay cover. This just clips out. The V4s and previous with the metal inserts feel so much nicer than these solely plastic doors on the later models. Cost cutting at its finest, eh, Sony? Next, we'll flip the machine over onto its front and we'll need to remove 8 plastic and rubber caps covering the main case screws. You can get these with a fingernail, or a small flat-headed screwdriver, spudger tool, etc. as needed. Next, we'll remove the 8 Phillips screws holding the 2 halves of the outer shell together. I believe the bit I'm using here is a Phillips size 2. There are 3 types of screw holding the case together, 3 shorter black ones, 4 longer black ones, and a small silver screw. The shorter screws go into the left side holes, towards what is the top of the unit as indicated. The 4 longer screws go into the right side holes, which is the base of the unit as indicated. The final screw located bottom left corner is our short silver screw. This goes through where our power eject buttons reside towards the top side of the unit. With the unit the right way up and laid horizontally now, we'll remove the case lid. Hinge it upwards from the left and right hand rear edges and walk the top off towards the front of the console, clearing the DVD tray bezel and front controller ports. The interior of the console can now be seen. For anyone familiar with the insides of the older iterations of the Fat PS2, you'll notice that there are no power eject buttons or associated ribbons to be found inside the case lid. Instead, these are now built into the main chassis besides the DVD-ROM drive. This is a much nicer design in my opinion. Next, to remove the lid of the DVD-ROM drive. There are now just the 2 small Phillips 000 screws to remove towards the front edge of the unit. The rear is now held in by clips. To remove the lid, lift from the front edge and pull firmly upwards to disengage the clips. And here is our Sanyo derived HD7 optical pickup. This one's looking a little bit dirty. To remove the tray, apply power and hit the eject button. It's the easiest way. Once the tray's out, flip the rear power switch and remove the mains cable. There's quite a lot of dust and detritus inside our drive. This will all be getting a much more thorough clean out soon, but for now, we'll give it a quick tidy up and apply our fix. Here then is the optical pickup. It connects to these silver runners via the laser sled, which they slide through. It moves along these runners via this toothed bar connected to a worm gear equipped motor. As we can see here, it's quite stiff and reluctant to move. Moving it by hand can help to free the worm gear assembly up if it's a little bit stiff. We'll need to lubricate this in order to free it up properly though. Here we give the sled a little wiggle. This checks for play in the teeth of the connecting bar. If there's a lot of play here, then this would indicate worn teeth, and in this scenario the teeth will likely skip across the screw rather than run through it, so the tooth bar in that scenario should be replaced. Ours, however, looks just fine. Time to do a bit of a spring clean then. First the laser lens. A cotton bud with some isopropyl alcohol will do a great job of removing any dirt. Rotate the bud through your fingertips to lift the dirt away, and go over it with the dry end afterwards. Ugh. Let's get the rest of that grime too. There's a dust bunny around the top of our worm motor. Be gone. Next we'll get a cotton swab with IPA applied and run it along our worm screw to remove any dirt and old white grease before we apply our new stuff. We've got some more dirt around the sled travel limit switch to get rid of, and some hair plucking to do from around the spindle motor. While I'm here, does anybody need their eyebrows doing? Next we'll use some more IPA to remove the last of the old white lithium grease from the laser runners. Now the laser assembly is clean, let's apply some new lithium grease to the laser runners. Apply a fair amount between the two ends of the laser sled. When we slide this later, the grease will distribute itself along the bar. Work the sled up and down to evenly distribute the grease. Next we'll apply some grease to our worm screw. Apply a dot and move the sled up and down to start distributing it along the length of the screw. Once done, apply a light coat along the length of the screw and work the sled back and forth once more. We'll get the dust out from the corners of the drive, which will take us a minute or two. And now we'll move the laser back and forth some more. Notice how much easier this is moving compared to when we started. Cool, we're now in a position to test. We apply the power. I'll just grab that bit of grease I've left there and hit eject to draw the tray back into the console. That dust on the disc tray is annoying me. I'll grab that now. All that's now left to do is clip the lid back into place and we're ready to test. Let's stick our Max Payne disc back in and see, or should that be here, what happens. We're looking good. We'll run this for a while to let that lubrication do its thing, and we'll come back to it in a little while. Okay then everyone, and welcome back. And as you can see now, we have the lid back on our PS2. And let's redo our little test, shall we? So, if we remember before, it was making all sorts of racket. So, you can hear the tray is still nice and quiet, which is cool. If we turn the machine off, there we go. If we turn it back on, remember the noise we were getting originally. Completely gone, which is a good start. And let's open the tray. Let's pop our Max Payne disc back in. Okay, but you can hear it's nice and quiet there, but if we restart, just staying quiet so you can hear the, or to at least give you half a chance of hearing the disk drive, or not hearing it, which is more the case, which is absolutely fantastic. Now remember, we got to this bit here where it starts to load the cut screen, where it goes black, and it froze at that point last time, and it started making a horrible racket. Now you can see we do get that cutscene, we get the FMV, it's nice and smooth, drive is silent, really good. Video playback's nice and smooth. I will strip this machine at some point and give it a proper thorough clean. I know on the video where we were just sorting that worm motor out, I cleaned what sort of like really obvious dust was there, just to sort of give it a fighting chance so it didn't get too disgusting. But you know, at some point this machine is going to go down to the motherboard anyway, and at that point I will strip it completely, wash all the plastics through, give everything a thorough dusting, and get it absolutely immaculate inside. Today was purely a point and exercise to show you what you can do to your machine if you have this issue, and ultimately, in order to know whether this machine is worth progressing with or parting out, I need to know if it works. And that was today's task, really. Not to get it perfect, but to get it good enough to at least properly test it. And as we can see today, we've managed that, which is absolutely fantastic. So we'll load this through. I don't know if the video will pick that up, but when you go from the menu, you can hear that drive working back and forward. No noise, no grinding, nothing. It's absolutely perfect. It's the end of the FMV. We're into the level. So thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you've enjoyed this and you found it useful. If you have, if you could pop a big old thumbs up down there, and just if you've any comments or any questions, drop them in the comment section below. And if you've watched a couple of videos on the channel now and you've enjoyed what you've seen, if you could hit that subscribe button, that would be absolutely fantastic. All of which are free and don't cost you a penny, but they really do help me out. So if you can take the time to do one, if not all three of those things for me, then that would be absolutely fantastic, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. So what have we done today then? We've stripped this PS2 down to the disk drive, we've cleaned it out, we've got rid of the old lithium grease, and we've replaced it with some new lithium grease right on that worm motor, which is where it seizes up, and the teeth onto the laser sled. And we've got it now reading perfectly. As you can see, it's really nice and pretty. And not only that, but the noise, what noise? It's completely silent, which is exactly what we want. So this machine is now working absolutely fine. So in the next few weeks it will be stripped down and I will be modding this machine. I'll probably film the mod install for you because it's something that people really seem to like watching. So stay tuned and we'll do that for you. But yes, as I say, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. You've been excellent as always, and I will see you in the next video in the not too distant future. So for me, for now, it's bye bye, and I hope life treats you well.
Somebody like me.